In today's gospel, we get St. Luke's account of the story of the centurion who has a sick servant in this account, in other accounts, a sick son. Anyway, a member of his household who is important to him is sick. And of course, Jesus has been going around curing sick people, and he's come to this centurion's town of Capernaum. And the centurion, amazingly, does not feel worthy that he would even go to Jesus, or in St. Matthew's account, that Jesus would come to him. Amazing thing to think that a centurion, who is one of the most powerful people at that time, I mean, he's the leader of 100 men, a Roman high-ranking military official, and Jesus is this itinerant Jewish rabbi guy. And yet, the centurion holds him in such a level of respect that he says he is actually not worthy to have Jesus come to him or for him to go to Jesus. So that's an amazing insight to know that one of the ways that we approach Jesus is with humility, to recognize, Lord, I am not worthy. We actually take those words from St. Matthew's account of this every time we get ready for communion. Lord, I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof, but only say the word. And in this case, not my slave or my son, but my soul will be healed. What an amazing insight. But the second amazing insight I think that this centurion has for us is that when he wants Jesus to heal his servant, well, he also shows a great insight into just how the world works. So he doesn't have incredible faith. He probably doesn't have the Jewish understanding faith of Jesus as God, but he certainly knows that Jesus is healing people. But more than that, he knows, all right, if I want this guy Jesus to do something for me, well, I'm not a miracle worker, I'm not a healer, so I'm not worthy. He starts with humility, but then he also has a keen insight about just how it is, the way the world works. See, the centurion is a commander of a lot of soldiers, so he's smart enough to know, well, if I want something done, all these soldiers are underneath me, so all I really have to do is just command them and they do it. So if I want something done, I tell this soldier, go over there, and he does it. Yes, sir, centurion, sir. And he does. So if Jesus is powerful in the ways of the spirit and healing and things like that, well, he he just needs to command and it will happen because that's the way things work. I know this. I'm a military guy. A keen insight here into the way things are. And Centurion, to his credit, he's like, I recognize the way things are, and I want to use them for my purposes. So if this is the way things are, I can work within that system. And if I do, Jesus is probably going to cure my servant. How much time do we spend fighting against the way things are? You know, the great scientists in the world have often been religious, especially Catholic people, because, well, they're curious about how is the world? How does it work? How did God make the world? And if I can understand the laws of the world, I can probably live more happily within it. That's the great insight behind the entire scientific method, the entire field of inquiry. Sometimes people have this false idea that somehow like science and religion are opposed. Like religion is this fake irrational belief and science will, disprove it. Yeah, religious people created science because we want to know how does it work? Because if we understand the way it works, we can play the game better. We can work within the system. That's what the centurion knew. It's like, how does this system work? I get how power and authority works. So Jesus is someone with power and authority. So I'm going to play within that system. And I bet he can use his power and authority to cure my servant. Well, I think sometimes today, especially, modern man rejects the way things are. It's as simple as that. We think we can control everything. We're so confused. We even think we can control whether someone is a man or a woman. We can control truth itself, maybe even reject that there is truth. I'll make up my own truth. That is ridiculous and it leads to much unhappiness because living outside the truth, well, it just leads to confusion. It's not the way things are. So, for all the centurion got right, perhaps the thing he gets most right is he knows how it is. He knows the way the world works and he's going to work within that. If you do that, you're going to find that there is someone who ordered the entire world, and you're actually working within his system. If you realize that, you might just come to faith in the one who made things how they are. Pray you find that today, and God bless you.